Okay, so we're about to start learning functions, and this is one of the most important concepts in any programming language. And what a function is it's basically a block of code that can take an input and return output. It doesn't have to do either of those. It doesn't have to take an input, and it doesn't have to return output. So let's go ahead and create a new PHP file. We're going to call this functions. And let's just delete this stuff. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the anatomy of a function. So let's type in the word function. Then we're going to type in our function name, which is awesome. We're going to do two open parentheses, close parentheses, curly braces, and then we're going to echo hello awesome function. And then we're going to say, we're just going to run that function. So let's look at the anatomy of the function. This is a simple function. You first start off with the function keyword. Then you type the name of the function. Then you type open parentheses, close parentheses. And what goes in here is arguments, things that the function will take. From there, what's executed is what's in between the curly braces, the open curly brace and close curly brace. And we basically can run the function by calling the function name, and then we do open curly brace, close curly brace. Now, if this function took in arguments, we'd have to put them in here. And arguments are things that go inside the function. So let's go ahead and run this. So we're going to basically go up to our properties. So right-click, properties, run configuration, and let's run the function one, which is right here. And we'll run that. And we can see hello awesome function. So that's a simple one. Okay, pretty easy to do. So let's go ahead and delete that so that won't run. So now we're going to create a function called hello world. And this time it's going to take a name variable. And we're going to echo hello name. We're going to say so can somebody tell me, or can you guys guess what's going to happen? Okay, let's see, and then I'll explain it. Hello, Bill. So what happened behind the scenes is it ran this block of code right here. It's basically said, okay, name, it basically did this. It said name equals Bill and ran that. So it assigned the value of name to the value we put inside the function. So we can put multiple arguments into a function. So we'll do name2. Now they can't have the same variable's name, but we can do this as well. Now notice that we also have to do this. So everything's separated with a comma, and we'll reference it right. So let's see what that does. Hello, Bill and Joe. So we're starting to make a little bit more sense. So you're starting to see, well, this can be ran. This is just a reusable block of code. That's really what a function is, that you can input things to, but they can also return things. So say we wanted to return that. We could then set what it equals to is, we'll just say return statement. That's the name of the variable, and that's going to equal whatever the function returns. And then we can echo return statement. And let's see, it should just be the same thing. Yeah, plus, let's make that a lot bigger. Control R. And yep, I refreshed the page. and does the same thing. Pretty easy. Let's go ahead and turn that off. There's no reason for that. We'll just go to here. Yep, cool. So I just turned off Xdebug. So you can kind of see what's going on. And the beautiful part about this is that I can execute this hello world block as many times as I want. So I can do ret2, and that can be hello world Bob and Jane. And then I can echo ret2. So I can run this piece of code as many times as I want. I can reuse this piece of code. And that's really the idea behind functions, is that you can reuse the code. So that's the basics of functions. They're used a lot in PHP, and we've in fact been using one. The one that we've been using a lot of is var dump. Var dump is actually a function. So we do var dump. We're actually calling a PHP function, a function that PHP provides us. And PHP provides a ton of functions. And we're not going to go over them, but what you can do is you can go to php.net. So go to php.net, and you can look at the PHP functions. So if you go to the search, which should be right here, you can type array, and it'll give you all these array functions. And you can kind of see there's like a ton of array functions that will really help you work with arrays. If you type in string to search, this is just a site that you should be familiar with or get familiar with. See, we have a ton of string functions. Ooh, it doesn't exist. Okay, there we go. So you have to type in string functions. You can kind of see like these are some of the string functions that you can do. There's a ton of things you can do in PHP. But yeah, get familiar with the php.net website. It's really good. And that concludes our functions. That's basically what you can do. They're used a lot. So get familiar with them. Get used to them. So go ahead and write a few functions. Go ahead and execute your code over and over again. This will save you a lot of time. You want to get into the habit of writing things in functions. And that'll, save you a lot of time. So I'm going to end this video, and I'll see you in the next video.